Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
Maybe.
Toni and Joe, you are ordered to walk every doctor who serialized, discuss them all. What you say, don't hesitate to
Today, we're not going to be talking about the Third Doctor.
We're
gonna. Well, we might. I think we should do a
little bit of speculation.
Yeah.
All right.
But what we're mostly going to be doing is taking a look back at the Second Doctor and his tenure.
Okay.
I read that Jamie is the longest running companion.
Ever?
Or has the most episodes, yeah. And I did not realize he's with the Doctor from his second adventure on.
Yeah.
I thought he came in later, but we're going to do a top 16 serial thing, but I was looking at the episodes, and I was like, oh my god, Highlanders is number 2.
Yeah?
I thought he came in later. I think it's partially because it took a little while for Jamie to become established for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
I loved him pretty much immediately.
That's what you say now. Play back the tape, and you're like, yeah, I don't know, he doesn't...
Oh, no, you're right. Are you?
God.
In the Highlanders, no, you're right. You're right.
Because we thought the other character...
The other character, who?
Kirsty, I want to say? Is her name?
Yeah! They spent way more time establishing her character than Jamie's, and we were like, that's weird. And it's like, yeah. I guess we'll probably love Jamie, because he's a fan favorite, but right now he's not doing anything. You're totally right. Do you know what episode you were like, sold?
I don't know. Let me take a look, because I know it definitely wasn't the next one, which, even though I really liked the next one, which was the Underwater Menace.
I forgot about the Underwater Menace until I was like looking at your list of them, and I was like, oh shoot, that was beautiful.
That one was really good. That was like the first one that like completely sold me on 2. I mean, I liked 2 from the beginning, but that was like, but I mean, also it was like our first completely existing one.
That is something I am glad to see the end of. In a lot of ways, this is the end of an era, and it's very sad. I am so glad to be out of missing serials.
You and me both.
I am not sad about it at all. I will miss 2. I love 2.
Also, it's going to be nice to see things in color and not be like, it looks black. I'm pretty sure there was like when we were in the War Games and
they said something was green.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay.
If you say so.
Definitely wasn't the moon base. It might have been the Macra Terror.
That sounds solid, because the Macra Terror is the next really solid episode after
the Underwater Menace.
Yeah. God, the Macra Terror is so weird.
And then like Jamie like does a lot of stuff in the Macra Terror where it wasn't doing a whole lot before, or it just didn't exist and we didn't see it. So, well, since we're talking about it, let's rank our companions.
Oh, okay. I feel like this is going to go fairly quickly.
Well, let's rank them, and then we'll talk a bit about them as we rank them.
Okay.
So, number 1. Well, should we start at the bottom? We should start at the bottom. That's the way you do lists.
Is it?
Yeah, because you don't want to
like build up.
Yeah.
Some like who do
you don't want to go like 1? This guy was awesome, and then go all the way down to like this fucker.
You all know, if you've been listening to the podcast at all, you probably have a good guess about who we're putting at the bottom.
Number 5.
Ben.
Ben Jackson.
Ben's all right. Ben, you know what?
Ben Patton.
We've been a little bit, I feel like, a little overly critical of Ben at times. And other times we've been just the right amount critical. Just throwing that out there. He's okay, but he's definitely at the bottom because we have some really great companions that we love.
I will say we went to the theater to watch The Power of the Daleks when they did the animated reconstruction of it, and I was like surprised that I kind of enjoyed Ben a little bit here and there in it. There's definitely some moments where I was like, fuck, Ben, come on. But like he had some good lines that I'd forgotten about. I was like, oh, he wasn't as bad as I remember.
You're too busy being grumpy. You missed all the good stuff. I think there's just some things that resonate with different people, and this is a character I think who's the things that we specifically dislike stood out more. Yeah. And that's alright.
Well, what's weird is some of the problems we have with him are also present in Jamie, but are not as obnoxious. or it's just that Jamie has more
I think
energy.
Jamie has more of I don't want to say established character, but yeah, he does more.
I don't know. Jamie seems more like someone you'd want to hang out with, whereas Ben just seems like one note, I guess.
Yeah, I feel
Jamie's
like
more rounded.
I definitely feel like that's fair. I feel like Ben, a lot of times when we're focusing on his flaws, it's because a lot of times that's, to us, that's like all that makes him up. And there's not much more to him than like when Polly's missing, he wants to know where Polly is, and he really likes the sea. Like,
and he's definitely more like quite frequently sort of negative in a way, like sort of like whiny almost. Not in like. And some of the other companions do it too, like, I don't want to get involved in this scary shit. But it's not in such an abrasive way, if that makes sense.
I guess so. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's leave Ben behind. We shall speak of him no more!
Let's leave him alone.
I wash my hands of him.
That would put Polly.
Polly is number 4.
Next at 4. I liked Polly.
I like Polly too.
Again, Polly is down near the bottom, not because we super disliked her, but because we really liked other companions more.
And she is so heavily tied in with Ben that it's sometimes hard to separate the two. And also, they just didn't give her a whole lot to do, I feel like.
I feel like it's fair to put Ben and Polly near the bottom of 2's companions, because they're on the tail end. They're on their way out.
Yeah, I feel like Ben and Polly were like a transition period for companions of just trying to figure out. And I'm going to be honest a little bit there with Victoria as well. But
who's next, right?
Yeah. Do we want to say anything more about Polly, or did we cover Polly?
I would put Polly's haircut.
Oh, that one in the macro terror.
Yeah, when she cuts it real short.
Yeah.
That goes, Polly with that haircut is number like 3 or 2. Shit, that bumps her up a space.
Haircut. Oh, that episode was good for Ben, too.
It was a good episode for Ben, yeah. When they're given stuff to do, their characters really shine. I feel like a lot of times their writing's uneven.
Like I said, I think they were just trying to figure out what to do with the companions at this point.
Same with Victoria.
So let's go to number 3, Victoria. I like Victoria. She definitely has an arc. It's a little wobbly, but there is one. And I think it's fairly clearly laid out from her first or second serial. Because, I mean, the first serial, she basically loses her family, which she doesn't maybe necessarily have quite the reaction she should.
She doesn't seem to mind all that much.
Except in the second serial, like, she has one scene where she's like, all right, I'm sad about my family. And that scene's amazing.
Man, that scene is great.
A little tacked on, but it's great.
It's one of my favorite 2 moments, like, of all time.
Probably my least favorite serial.
I was gonna say, what serial was that a part of?
Tomb of the Cybermen.
I remember doing that episode and saying, this is an excellent moment that sums up so much about the show, and the rest of this serial did not care for it. But
yeah,
that's
which apparently it's a well-liked serial, probably because it all exists, to be honest. But
it all exists, and probably if you watched it all and you just remembered that moment, you'd be like, oh, that's a great serial. Because that moment is so great.
I guess there's some interesting things done with the Cybermen and like the whole tying it in with like Egyptian mythology and stuff, but me.
Joe doesn't care.
But yeah, but then she's sort of like reluctant traveler in a way. Like she didn't like jump on and like, let's go. And that pays off in her last one where she's like, I never really wanted to come in the first place.
How long is Victoria around for? Because I feel like it's not that long. I mean, definitely compared to, we just said Jamie's the longest.
So she comes in The Evil of the Daleks, and she's in Tomb of the Cybermen, The Abominable Snowman, The Ice Warriors, Enemy of the World, Web of Fear, and then she leaves in Fear of the Deep. 7 serials.
Okay. So yeah, not really. That's not terribly long. But enough that by the time she leaves, you're a little heartbroken.
She was kind of just adorable. I like a lot of her stuff in like The Abominable Snowman / Web of Fear. Especially the scenes with her dad. Like, the guy who actually is her dad in real life. He played Professor Travers. Mm. And I feel like in those scenes, she did really well with him for some reason. Specifically in The Web of Fear, when like she recognizes him, but he doesn't recognize them. And she's like, it's us!
Oh, yeah. That scene was really cute.
I'd say she's like a fairly standard companion, There's nothing like super...
Standard?
I'm like saying if you're like going to take like all of the companions and mish them up, like she'd probably be like baseline. You know what I mean? Because there's like Ben, and then there's like, amazing ones. And then she's
just down
right there.
Yeah. Sit top. I'll fight you. You can have other opinions, but if you don't think Donna Noble's the best, you're wrong, and I'll fight you. You're welcome to your opinion, but it's wrong.
There's nothing, like, terrible about her, but I don't feel like there's a whole lot that's, like, sticks out about her either.
Yeah, I was actually kind of struggling to remember, like, specific scenes with her.
Like, I think that one scene in The Tomb of the Cybermen is great, and I think her send-off is great.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't retain information at all, and she wasn't in it a long time, so that's just, I'm wired poorly. But yeah, she's alright.
Oh, and I guess she did have one trait, which is they took the long-standing female companion trope and turned it into a weapon with her. That kind of saved it.
Yeah, I think you should probably explain it.
Oh yeah, she screams and it defeats the monster in the Fury from the Deep. Like, the monster is specifically
her screams.
Scream. Like, her wavelength or whatever hurts the seaweed foam monster. Constant villain of the Second Doctor in its various forms. Foam. But yeah, like, I feel like she was the last of the real, like, just screaming female companions of classic. I feel like we've said Second Doctor.
Bottom tier, middle tier. It's time to move on to our top tier. Top tier companions.
Number 2, Zoe Harriet.
You have Zoe at 2?
Yes.
It's evensies.
It's evensies?
Yeah, I couldn't put one above the other. I guess you could put fair. Jamie above Zoe just by numbers.
And I feel like he has more of a connection with the Doctor.
I just love Zoe so much. Like, from her introduction, she's fun.
She's energetic. She's smart.
She's occasionally smarter than the Doctor. They fight about it.
That's always good and
she
amazing.
Has a sparkly jumpsuit on occasion.
She wears good outfits most of the time.
Most of the time.
I saw one of her outfits in color, and I liked it in black and white.
Are you talking about the feather boa with the dress? Because isn't that like a pink? It's like pink with red or something.
Yeah, it's two colors that just don't go together. Like, in black and white, it looked fine, but then you see it in color, and it's like, oh, that's actually terrible.
Well, it probably didn't matter. They knew that. They knew what it looked like, and they knew how it would look on camera. Yeah, she had great outfits.
She had a lot of, like, Donna Noble-ish qualities, too, I feel like, sort of takes no shit sort of attitude.
Yeah.
She had more of an active role, I feel like, than any previous female companion. Maybe except for Barbara.
Yeah.
Probably even a little more than Barbara. As much as I love Barbara. But, like, Barbara sometimes just sort of tagged along occasionally. But, like, Zoe, I feel like, was constantly, like, involved. You know what I mean?
I mean, they definitely played with the fact that it's like, she's super, super smart. So she got to do a lot. And that was great.
She didn't run over a Dalek with a truck. But she did a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, man, I miss Barbara. I would say, like, Ian, Barbara. I understand, like, Ian, Barbara, Zoe, Jamie. Like, I understand those being, like, quintessential TARDIS teams.
Anything else you want to say about Zoe?
Nope, like her a lot. Like her sparkle. Her sparkle jumpsuit. It was great having a character who was challenged the Doctor, who was sometimes smarter than the Doctor.
And she didn't put up with Jamie's bullshit.
No.
Either. She didn't put up with anybody's bullshit.
I think maybe that's what makes Jamie's bullshit more tolerable, is that there's somebody there to be like, Jamie, shut the fuck up! And Jamie's like, okay. And, like, that makes it more tolerable.
It could be, because, like, I feel like Polly did put up with Ben's bullshit. You know what I mean?
And I think maybe that's the thing we find frustrating.
Yeah, like, there wasn't as much acknowledgement of it. It was just like,
I don't know.
They seemed more at odds. Like, Ben and Polly seemed more at odds because of who they were. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're, like, trying to play it off as like, they love each other, and it doesn't work.
I think that's a huge part of the problem. Is like, that is a relationship dynamic that we're never gonna be into.
Whereas Zoe and Jamie, for the most part, got along. There were some minor differences here and there, but, like, they dealt with it appropriately, I felt like. And there wasn't, like, a big antagonistic thing between the two of them, whereas I feel like there was with Polly and Ben. Yeah. You know?
But it was like, oh, but they're really, that's what love is like.
Yeah. And also there was, like, definitely a love relationship between Polly and Ben, but, like, Zoe and Jamie feel like brother and sister, and I enjoy that dynamic more.
Yeah, I feel like, especially between companions, it's fun to have a TARDIS team that just feels like a family.
Yeah, that being said, one of my favorite TARDIS teams is a married couple, but what are you going to do?
Amy and Rory.
Yeah. I mean, like, all three of them just being on the TARDIS. I like a full TARDIS.
Yes. So. I love having more people on the TARDIS. I think 3 is a good number.
Do you mean, like, Doctor and 2 companions?
Doctor and 2 companions, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, we had 3 companions at once this season. And it mostly worked. I mean, it was Ben, Polly, and Jamie. I feel like maybe Jamie didn't start coming into his own until he started fading out Ben and Polly.
Ben and Polly.
Because he's just sort of the tag along, like, I don't know what's going on.
Man,
So let's talk about Jamie now. Jamie is number one.
Jamie's number one.
Tied for you.
Tied, yeah, they're samesies. Jamie, one of the things I love about him so much is how quickly he just sort of rolls with, like, the sci-fi bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, he spends very few episodes being like, what's a car? What's a plane? Please explain. And finally, I mean, like, pretty much it's just like, I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, he definitely does that his first couple episodes, baby Jamie. But eventually he's just like, I've dealt with all of this bullshit.
Like, I don't really know what a rocket is, but it's fine. I don't need to understand it.
Just know it works. I don't know.
I just know it's going to take us from where we are to outer space. That's whatever.
Like, I mean, there's still, like, moments of him learning things, but he just rolls with it, like, way later on. Like, the doctor's like, here's how magnets work. And he's like, all right, why are you giving me magnets? Just save us, God. Stop being a teacher for 5 seconds.
I think in the beginning he's like, yeah, adventure. And then in those, like, last couple episodes, he's like, anyway, this looks dangerous, let's go. He gets more cautious as he goes on. Towards
the beginning, he is sort of like, I want to say baby Jamie again, because he's like childlike almost. Like, what's this? What's going on? Let's do things. And then by the end of it, he's just like, just steeped in it already. He's just like an old hand at it, you know what I mean?
Jamie goes through, like he starts as a freshman and ends as a senior.
He is like Wesley from Buffy to Angel. He starts off sort of baby-faced and
I don't know if it's that dramatic.
I will say it's that subtle.
Oh,
you know how you don't really notice Wesley slowly becoming a badass? You're just like, oh right, yeah, that's where he started. I feel like that's the same way with Jamie, because like I'm thinking about it now. Those early episodes with Jamie were pretty different from where he wound up.
I think there was once or twice where we were like, oh, he has got to learn some things because I am tired of having cars explained to me. Which I think is pretty much what happened, is they're like, oh, it's annoying.
He had to be doing something right. He's the longest running companion.
I'm going to be careful of how I phrase this. This is one of the better relationships with the Doctor we've seen in a while. Since Vicky, maybe?
Yeah.
I feel comfortable saying that.
Like, specifically the relationship with the Doctor?
Yeah, and you know, their chemistry.
Yeah, Vicky and one had, like, a real good connection. Where they like, got along really well. Like, yeah. I feel like...
But also, like...
Ian and Barbara had a good connection with him, too, but it was in a different way.
Yeah. But I'm talking about specifically just, like the chemistry. I mean, I wouldn't put Vicky above Ian and Barbara. I just, like...
but, like, the connection with the Doctor, yeah. Jamie and 2...
I love them so much!
I know a lot of people ship them, and I totally get why. Because they're basically, like, just a married couple in space.
I imagine that they're just platonic boyfriends. They're just platonic soulmates, and that's all there is to it.
They touch each other.
so much.
And I think that's more than just the characters. I think that's the actors as well. If you see, like, behind the scenes stuff, like, or, like, them at conventions, like, they're all over each other. It's adorable.
They just get along.
They're, like, best friends. And I think that's amazing. Like, I saw some post on Tumblr that was, like, they were at a convention, like, Jamie's, like, hugging Patrick Troughton, or Frasier, I suppose, is hugging Patrick Troughton, and the other doctors are like, none of my companions hug me.
It seems like it was a real life friendship that just translated very well onto screen.
They do like playful bickering so well, like poking at each other a little bit, not in like the gross way, like Ben and Polly, where it's like it feels a little hateful,
like a little bit too real.
Yeah, but like Jamie and the Doctor do it, but you know they're having fun. You know what I mean? Like in the War Games when he's like, maybe I can pick this lock, and Jamie's like, with a tuning fork.
That is one of my favorite things too. Like, Jamie comes from the past, doesn't know shit that's going on, but knows enough to call the Doctor on his shit. That's what makes him great.
You're ridiculous.
He could not know what was going on, but he could know that the Doctor's full of shit. He's like, I don't know half the things you just said, but I knew that they were a lie.
And it's like said lovingly almost, you know? And that's why I love 2 and Jamie so much. Also, there was that scene where they held hands. They've held hands multiple
times.
I just love them.
Oh, it was devastating that they just
Dawn
got
ennobled
sent back. I think they had such a close relationship. I don't even remember it. I'm gonna need a minute.
Which Jamie comes back, and later on I've heard, and I don't know exactly how they're going to do that.
It's like the 5 or the 3.
I think it's the 5 Doctors.
The 5 Doctors. They pull them out from their timelines, I think.
So does he not have memories of the Doctor? Or, I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know, because I don't remember. But I think they pull the Doctor and Jamie from before.
I read some stuff online about Zoe figuring out that she's missing time.
Because she's older?
Because she's from the future. She's not like Jamie, just like, I don't know. But she gets, like, tested, and she's like, I'm, like, 20 years older or some shit.
20?
Not 20, but, like, you know, some amount of time. She's some amount of time older. And then she's like, what is happening? Because she feels like she's been having, like, I think she's having, like, dreams and stuff of the Doctor. And
like memories.
Memories. Which, I mean, she still has memories of having met them. Because the whole Will and Space thing still happened for her.
Yes.
But
I love that it's like, they get to keep their first memory and that's it. Mm-hmm. It's like, you've just made them side characters when they were companions.
At least they get a little bit. It's not like Donna.
I don't know if I'll ever stop being upset about it. It's been years.
What is
it still chokes me up when I think about it.
Why is this the Time Lord's solution to so much? Like, cut it out. Stop.
Time Lords just are a big fan of ghosting all their problems. Can we talk about Time Lords for a little bit?
Sure. I was going to say, before we jump into our serials, let's just talk about villains and who's your favorite villains. And specifically...
Can the Time Lords be my favorite villains?
Sure. But I also want to say, I want to specifically know your favorite robots.
My favorite robots? I think Quarks. Yeah, Quarks are top.
Top for adorableness, right?
Yes, they're so cute. Oh my god. How else would I rank robots, Joseph?
I don't know.
If not by adorableness.
Not by effectiveness.
I love the Quarks. That's what makes them cute. I guess from the Quarks I'd have to go to the Yetis.
Yetis Mark 1.
Yes! With the eyes.
Did they have eyes? Mark 1 didn't have eyes. Did they? Mark 2 had eyes.
Mark 2 had eyes?
Had eyes and a neck.
Oh, the neck was weird. But the Mark 1 looked like chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
They just looked like fuzzy little chicken nuggets. And I love them. Let's see, what else is there?
There's the Protons.
They're alright.
Ice Warriors, I mean, they're not robots, but they're villains. Cybermen.
I thought I was ranking robots.
Cybermen.
The Cybermen are okay.
Daleks?
Yeah, the Daleks are okay. I'm gonna be honest. I love the Daleks.
What about the Happy Daleks?
Oh my god, the Happy Daleks! Those were great. Sometimes I'm bored. Like, sometimes Cybermen episodes bore me. I'm just like, oh, we're doing another. Okay, and it's probably gonna be like a 10-parter. I know if Ben Baden is listening, he probably is very offended right now. I am sorry. I'm not that sorry.
I'm going to tell you, there's 21 serials of the Second Doctor. We're going to do our top 16. A few of the Cybermen episodes are not going to be on that list, just because they're the same episode every time. That's the problem. They do the same beats, and it's just, ugh.
And I like the idea of the Cybermen. I like the morality of them. But yeah, I get tired of the same beats. Whereas, like, I kind of feel the same way about the Daleks on occasion. I love the Daleks, but sometimes it's like, oh, it's another Dalek episode. Whereas, like, when you get the Quarks, you're like, what are these?
Exactly.
These are great. I think I've said before, anytime Doctor Who does something weird and new, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm listening.
And I feel like they have a problem of bringing back favorites too much sometimes. Definitely with the Daleks, definitely with the Cybermen. Weeping Angels.
God, yes, and the Weeping Angels were so great. The Weeping Angels are amazing in Blink, and then every time they've been brought back since, it's been diminishing returns.
I mean, they're still frightening.
Did we say when we were playing Lego Dimensions?
Yeah, we did mention it, yeah.
With Legos, and we were terrified.
That was an interesting gameplay dynamic, because the lights would turn out, and then they come back on, and they're closer, and you're like, fuck!
Like, no,
you can't control your character for a second, you know?
It's the worst.
I think
genuinely terrify me.
The silence as well. I feel like the silence were great when they started.
I never liked the silence.
That's an interesting dynamic, though. Like, I thought that was terrifying. Like, the marks on your body and shit, that stuff's good. But then, like, they get into what the silence are and everything, and you're just like, oh, nah.
Oh, what's that season? It's just one big...
See, I feel like you immediately, like, discredit them and stuff just because you've seen all of it. Yes. But, like, if you just go into that blank, not knowing what's going to happen, they're good to begin with.
The setup of them is good? Yeah, you're probably right. I have a really bad habit of, like, my memory is bad.
So you just blend it all together?
Yeah, like, I remember my emotions about them. And I remember being like, at the end. And so that's what I think of, you know what I mean? I remember less being like, oh my god, why are there check marks on their arms? Oh my god. I remember less those the earlier times.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did with Ben.
Yes.
Just blended it all together and forgot that occasionally he had some good moments. Yeah. I feel like that's true of Doctor Who, though. If you rewatch any of it, you'll probably find something good, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, I've said before, there are episodes that are terrible. That's fine. We all know this. It's been going on for 50 years, guys. We can admit that the occasional episode sucks. It's okay. No one's going to be perfect all the time. But even in those really bad episodes, if you watch it again, you're like, oh my god, it's got this scene in it. This scene's great. It's got this little character moment, and that character moment's great. Even in the clunkers, there's something where you're like, oh yeah.
Like, my least favorite episode of New Who has a great scene in it.
What's that?
Let's Kill Hitler, and it has that scene where he's in the TARDIS, and, you know, all the companions... And he's like the guilt and all that. That scene's amazing.
That scene is good.
Rory punching Hitler is amazing. Actually, everything with Hitler was really good. It's everything else about that episode that's a complete mess.
Everything with Hitler was great. I'm sure glad we have you on tape saying that.
Please don't, edit that out. Joe Heath says, everything with Hitler was great.
Please do not remove that from its intended context. Thanks.
You wanted to talk about Time Lords, and you didn't talk about Time Lords.
I just really like them. I don't know if we're going to get more of them in 3.
I mean, we should be. Doesn't the Master show up in 3?
Yes, he does. So yes, we do have more Time Lord stuff in store. It's interesting because the era that we've been exposed to, New Who largely, the Time Lords were a myth. They've been brought back fairly recently, but it's interesting to get, the first real episode with them in it for something that is so important to, the mythos. It super delivers.
Yeah. And it's still fairly vague. We didn't even get the name of the planet.
The thing I think that makes me so excited about Time Lords is I was like, we're about to establish the hell out of some shit. I can't wait.
And we did. And even though there's still a lot to, I feel like, to establish.
Yeah.
They gave you just enough. Just enough to be terrifying. But who knows, it may be like these other villains. It may be diminishing returns.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I hope not, too. That's an interesting thing to throw in.
I think it's brave, too, to kind of we've had this, very mysterious character for 6 years.
6 or 7?
6 years into this thing, we're going to start establishing his background. I mean, you have to know at that point, you're doing something big. Even if you don't know how big, because it's truly unimaginable how big it's become. You're establishing some pretty important mythology. It's gonna be awesome! Can't wait.
Let's do the, what did you call it, Sweet 16?
Sweet 16.
I don't know anything about things. I'm gonna say before we jump into the Sweet 16, there's 21 serials, and we have chopped off 5 of those. I'm just gonna tell you right now which ones are not in it. The Will in Space, the Crotons, the Faceless Ones, the Moon Base, and the Tomb of the Cybermen. If you'll notice, 3 of those are Cybermen episodes.
We established we were iffy about them. Alright, so...
Because all 3 of those episodes are the same episode. One of them just has an Egyptian filter on it.
I don't remember how we did this last time. You shouldn't have put these in the order you think that they're going to win.
Well, you might have different opinions, and my opinion keeps changing. And we know 2 of these are going to knock out anything that comes across. We already know our top 2. It's just figuring out. We're just playing a game here.
This is all a show for you.
You can probably figure out what the top 2 are going to be, but let's do this for now. All right, our first 2 are the Mind Robber and the Ice Warriors.
That's not even fair. The Mind Robber.
Yep. Do we even need to discuss it?
The Mind Robber is so much fun. It's weird. I don't know if it knows what it's doing some of the time, and it's great. Shall we say something about the Ice Warriors?
Thanks for playing.
I think the Ice Warriors, they have a very interesting sort of gray morality for a Doctor Who villain, where it's they're not bad necessarily, but they are.
It turns out, that episode sort of just kind of becomes a generic sort of Monster of the Week episode, is I feel like the worst part of it. And also the design's not, or the way that the Ice Warriors are portrayed is not quite there yet, I feel like.
Yeah.
The voice is a little shaky.
Oh, hard to hear.
I will say their next episode's a lot better. The Mind Robber wins! Woo! Okay.
The Rind
Rind Mobber?
The Mind Robber moves on.
Alright, so we have the Underwater Menace and Fury from the Deep. Which is weird. Those are both water ones. Underwater Menace was the one with the mad scientist drowning Atlantis. Fury from the Deep is Victoria's last episode. Has evil foam that is defeated with Victoria's Scream. And the two creepiest motherfuckers.
It's alright. It's alright. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna...
Not like it.
Yeah.
It's legitimately terrifying. Which is actually a point in its favor for me. But I'm gonna have to go with the Underwater Menace, which is just shit tons of fun. What say you?
Oh yeah, I agree. It's beautiful too. They have that one scene with the mer people.
And the doctor drowns everyone at the end. Good times.
Well, he does do that, doesn't he? That's one of his classic 50-50. It'll either save us or kill everyone. But it's got to be done.
That round goes to the Underwater Menace.
Okay. The Macroterror versus the Dominators.
The Dominators is widely thought of as a bad serial, I feel like. And I don't entirely understand why. It has some of the best two Doctor moments. It is probably one of the most comedic episodes. That's the one with the two guys. He's like, can I blow things up? And then the guy's like, no, not yet. And there's that great scene where he's like, continue.
Oh, yeah.
And also, it's got, Jamie and the Doctor flying a rocket, Jamie not knowing what a will is. It has those weird, ugly toga things that everybody wears. But that being said, the Macroterror is also really good, and also pretty funny. And also, we got t-shirts from Chris Cherry that say, there are no Macra, and the other says, Macra do not exist. It had those gigantic crab creatures, and it's pretty great. It also had that great, musical number.
Musical number?
Yeah, remember, they come into town, and, Chris did the chant.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah, the Macroterror definitely.
The Macroterror is basically Shrek.
Okay, Enemy of the World...
Wait, so we're saying Macroterror?
Macroterror.
Okay.
Enemy of the World versus Seeds of Death.
Okay, so Seeds of Death is very repeaty. It's the second Ice Warriors.
But they have the seeds blow up and explode and poof smoke out onto people.
Yeah, I was about to say, it repeats a lot of stuff, but in a way I don't mind, because it's the second Doctor's greatest hits.
Yeah.
So I liked it. There's Ice Warriors, it follows the same path as the Ice Warriors, but the Ice Warriors are a lot better this time. There's Transmats, and there's the glitter Ice Warrior.
Oh yeah, he's so shiny. Enemy of the World is really good, but a little racist. It's the Doctor in brown face. He's being a Mexican, which is unfortunate. If you put that aside, he actually does really a good job of playing a villain. It's a super unfortunate choice, because you don't want to say, yeah, he did a great job at doing that thing that's pretty gross.
Like I said, if you put aside the racism, which I know is bad, everything else about that serial is pretty much top notch. The plot's great. There is also they do kill off the one person of color, not including the Doctor, but it the plot's great.
Do you have a hard favorite?
I actually think the Enemy of the World's better than the Seeds of Death. I like the Seeds of Death, but it's a little repetitive. The Enemy of the World was just well written.
Alright, I will go with you on Enemy of the World.
Alright.
Okay, up next, War Games versus The Invasion.
Too easy. It's the War Games. The Invasion was pretty good. It's probably the best of the Cybermen serials, mostly because it has the Brigadier. It also has, what's her name? She was great. The photographer.
Oh, she is great.
It had a pretty good villain, who also was a villain before, but whatever. He played Mavak Chin in the Daleks, but he's also, I don't remember his name in
this one.
In The Invasion, but he was great.
The Invasion was fun.
The Invasion was fun.
I feel bad that it got beat out so early. The problem isn't The Invasion. The problem is that War Games is fantastic. War Games ends at every cliffhanger. You're like, ah.
The only Cybermen serial with a chance. Because the Cybermen are barely in it. And when they are, also they give the Cybermen feelings. But yeah, it's no contest because the War Games.
Because it got put up against the War Games. Sorry, The Invasion.
We actually liked you.
A lot. You probably could have made it farther into the Sweet 16, but your competition was fierce. Web of Fear
versus the Evil of the Daleks. Evil of the Daleks is the one that introduced Victoria and has the Happy Daleks.
Daleks, they're so cute. The Doctor gets on them and rides them around, and they're just like, wee, wee. But then, it doesn't go as well as one would hope.
It also has the unfortunate stereotypical character. He's not as bad as like Tomb of the Cybermen, but Toberman, but he still dies as the strong man.
Adorable though. Before he dies, he's one of my favorite side characters.
Meanwhile, the Web of Fear introduces the Brigadier, has the return of the Yeti, Professor Travers being old and under the influence of the Great Intelligence, has the Doctor throwing a temper tantrum for things not going his way at the end. This is a tough one.
I'm gonna say I don't have a standout favorite.
The Evil of the Daleks. I was about to say Evil of the Daleks also felt like a good finale.
I'm moving Evil on to the next round.
That sounds good.
The Highlanders versus the Space Pirates. Ooh, Space Pirates.
Space Pirates. I like the Highlanders. It was had the Doctor taking a nap and wearing costumes for no reason. But yeah, it's definitely the Space Pirates, which is actually not a great serial for the Team TARDIS, but is great for Milo Clancy.
I was gonna say, but Milo Clancy is in it, so it moves on. Now, the Abominable Snowmen versus Power of the Daleks.
Power of the Daleks. The Daleks were legitimately terrifying in that one. It was the introduction to the Second Doctor and his first regeneration and being weird and playing a flute and...
Oh, I have love regeneration sickness. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part of getting a new Doctor.
And it has that one scientist guy slowly losing it and then saying, "I am your servant."
Oh, shit, yeah.
But the Abominable Snowman also has some fucked up moments with Padmasambhava and being controlled by the intelligence, though he's a little mixed in his performance. Sometimes he's too slow and blah, 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 but it's also legitimately fucked up at times. And also the Yeti are just adorable.
I would say move on Power.
Power? Yeah. Yetis lost both times. I think, didn't they? Yeah.
Did we put Yetis up against Daleks?
Twice now, yeah.
Oh, wow. So we did. Okay. Next level. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Winners against winners. The Mind Robber. Ooh, versus Underwater Menace.
Yikes. It's definitely the Mind Robber.
Aw, I hate it though. I love the Underwater Menace, but you're not wrong.
They both have a similar tone.
I love both of them so much.
But it's definitely the Mind Robber.
But it's definitely the Mind... Oh, but Underwater Menace...
Why did you put the Minder Robber?
I don't know, man. I don't know why you put me in charge of writing anything. I, gotten halfway through words and just went, nah.
Well, now it just says the Minder Row.
Yeah, it does. The Macroteer versus Enemy of the World. Ooh, I feel like the Macroteer.
Shrek wins.
Shrek wins.
Man, Shrek is tearing up the charts. Though the Enemy of the World was pretty solid.
Evil of the Daleks versus the War Games.
War Games.
You don't even have to hesitate.
Well, we said there's two of these that are going to trump whatever happens.
They're standout, and the War Games is definitely one of them. Ooh.
Space Pirates or Power of the Daleks?
I feel like I'm going to say Space Pirates, but I feel like that is largely influenced by the fact that we watched it last.
Yeah.
So I want your opinion.
Okay. I feel like the Power of the Daleks is really good. It's a little long, though. Space Pirates.
Space Pirates. Yeah, it drags in places. It
drags. It also doesn't exist. Well, I mean, neither one of them exists. Okay, the Space Pirates, the first episode, is boring. It doesn't pick up until Milo Clancy shows up.
Really? We just really love Milo Clancy.
Dude, I love Milo Clancy so much.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter because it's going to go up against the War Games.
Well, I mean, eventually it doesn't matter because we know the top two. I'm going to say Power of the Daleks. What about you?
I'm going to say Space Pirates, but like I said, I saw it more recently, and so I thus like it more. So I will write down Power.
I was about to say, think of it this way. Power is a more important episode, for sure.
That's true. Very true.
The first Second Doctor serial, establishing so much about him so quickly and so well.
Yeah, okay. You've convinced me. Power. The Mind Row.
The Minder Row.
The Minder Row. The Mind Robber versus the Macroteer.
Mind Robber versus Shrek is the Mind Robber.
I'm already writing it down. I know his opinions. The Mind Row. Macroteer is great, though. Okay.
Not as good as the Mind Robber.
The War Games versus Power of the Daleks.
The War Games. Wow, that was the first episode versus the last episode.
Oh, so it is.
That's great.
That means they started strong and ended strong.
The Doctor played an examiner in both.
Now it comes down to
this
a
is the
decision
tough
we
one.
Gotta make. I fear we're not going to be able to do this because I think we disagree. The Mind Robber versus the War Games.
I'm going to say the Mind Robber.
I'm going to say War Games.
All right, what are your reasons?
Motherfucking Time Lords. Motherfucking Time Lords. Fucking dead on cliffhangers every time. That was a 10 10-parter. Every single time a 10-parter has come up, we've been like, We watched 5 of those in one night because we had to figure out what happened next. The Mind Robber is great, but it's also kind of meandering a lot of the time. It's doing weird things, and that's awesome and fun to watch, but it isn't always so much cohesive. May I remind you, motherfucking Time Lords. And they're scary as hell.
Can I do my counter argument?
Please.
So, yes, the War Games. Fantastic. Time Lords. So many great cliffhangers. Will say it's a bit repetitive. It's definitely too long. Like, even though it's great, there's a lot that probably could have been cut out. Unfortunate racism. I mean, I'm not doubting that it's great, but here's what I'm going to say about The Mind Robber. It's amazing from beginning to end. It's so weird is what I feel like is quintessential Doctor Who. It's only 5 episodes, and those episodes are super short, which gives it a pace unlike any other. And if I were to recommend somebody watch a second Doctor serial, I would say The War Games is really good, but also no, it's 10 episodes long, and it takes a while for everything that's so great about it to come into play, whereas The Mind Robber is great from beginning to end, and I feel like it's more of what I would say, like, this is why I like Doctor Who, is this serial. And it's quicker to watch, and it's more fun. Maybe not as important and influential in the future of the show, but I feel like The Mind Robber is more of a one-off, this is something to get you hooked.
I could definitely concede your point that, like, if I was going to be like, okay...
Also, if I was going to watch one again, it would be The Mind Robber. If I was to watch the War Games, I'd probably just watch the last episode.
Yeah. Shit. Alright, you've convinced me.
Yes!
Alright, The Mind Robber.
If you disagree, let us know.
Yeah, we want to know. We're probably wrong. It's fine. We're wrong about so many things all the time.
Some of you are going to be like, what? It's Tomb of the Cybermen. What the fuck are you guys talking about? It wasn't even in your top 16.
Because I've listened to other podcasts where they've done it, and I think they ranked Edge of Destruction, where they're like, that's one of the worst episodes ever, and I was, like, offended to my core. I was like, look, it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess, and it's my mess. Edge of Destruction is one of the better serials. So I am certain that probably you feel that way about at least one of the things that
we've said here today.
That's fair. We want to hear about it, too.
Ooh, let's do this. The Mind Robber or The Myth Makers?
Oh,
which was the winner of our last...
want to do that.
The first Doctor. You don't want to do that?
No, I don't like it.
I'd definitely say The Mind Robber.
You're going to have to go with Mind Robber because it exists mostly.
Well, I mean, it's pretty amazing that a Missing Serial won our last one. But it's because it's so good.
Does anything not exist in The Mind Robber?
Nope, it's all there.
See, so you have, like, if you're going to recommend something, it's going to be the existing episode.
That's true.
So it's like, that's not fair.
Which is weird considering 2 has way more missing serials than 1 does.
The Mythmakers was just too good.
Woe to the Horse.
Woe to the Horse. Still not over Woe to the Horse.
Oh, I didn't even say what my favorite part of The Mind Robber was as a way to convince you.
What was your favorite part?
Cardboard Jamie.
Oh my god!
Turning into another fucking person for like an entire episode. He got it wrong. Oh god. So good.
I love too that Ben Patton finds that legit terrifying.
I mean, I can see it. It is a little like, oh Jesus, what the hell are they doing?
You guys know I'm not great at faces. I have had the fear of like, I'm not gonna recognize somebody. As soon as that scene started happening, I was like, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
This is not a test for Toni.
This is not gonna end well. Like, the creative problem solving of like, oh, shoot, our main actor is sick and we're gonna have to rewrite something. Just write something real quick. And the guy who was like, I got it. First, we get a cardboard cutout of him. And the guy's like, no. We can't actually just do a cardboard cutout. He's like, no, listen. But his face is missing. Like, kudos to that guy. Yeah. I like the way your brain works.
And it doesn't feel at all, like, shoehorned in. It fits into that serial perfectly. It's such a weird-ass serial.
Because everything else is so weird. Like, why not this?
Alright. I love that.
Life is so weird already. Who's that? Who says that? Is that Mulaney?
Yep. It's Mulaney.
Adult life is so weird already. This might as well happen. That's what the Mind Robbers is.
John Mulaney.
This serial's so weird already. This might as well happen.
So, the Macro Terror is Shrek, and the Mind Robber is Mulaney's stand-up, not his show. Sorry, John Mulaney. We love your stand-up.
I met you once, and you were super cute. And there's a picture of us, by the way. It's the most awkward picture in existence.
It's beautiful.
And I love it. Both our eyes are closed.
We also saw you. We both saw him in New York.
Yes.
We saw
I'm glad
him
we're talking
with our
directly
eyes.
to him because we know for sure that he listens to this podcast.
John Mulaney, there is an open seat on this podcast. Anytime you want to guest star, you just pick your cereal. We'll go for it. We're doing the third Doctor soon, so
let us know.
You can come as yourself. You can come as your character from Oh Hello. We don't mind. Bring Nick Kroll. He can come too. Both of you are invited. Just if you can, also bring PFT. Paul F. Tompkins. It's my dream to get him on this show. Yeah, if we can get Paul F. Tompkins from John Mulaney. I'm saying as if we are, in fact, going to get John Mulaney.
Guys, John Mulaney does not listen to the show.
Who knows if he even watches Doctor Who?
We are speaking straight nonsense.
Paul F. Tompkins, though, does like Doctor Who, so there's a chance.
Okay, alright. Let it go. It's good to have dreams, but it's also good to be realistic. So
we want to give a special shout out to Elliot, Doc with the TARDIS Fez.
Yes.
Who replied, Paul F. Tompkins trying to get him on the show. I love you so much for that. It didn't work, but I appreciate the sentiment.
There was an effort,
Thank you.
it was sweet. I think now is the time where we should do a little bit of looking to the future.
Hover cars.
What's the difference between a hover car?
And a hovercraft?
I mean, just like
One of
any
them
kind
you
of
make.
flying craft. Like, what's the benefit of a hover car?
It doesn't touch the ground.
Yeah, but so
It looks cool.
I don't get the hype.
Okay, not hover cars, flying cars. We have
What
hover
is an
cars.
airplane if not a flying car?
Okay.
Like a
Okay. Yeah, because I can just go fly a plane. I can just cruise around in my plane.
Listen,
What am I, John Travolta?
What I'm saying is, you barely got your driver's license. If your car can fly, then you can't. Then you'll have to get a pilot's license.
I didn't barely get my driver's license. I got it super easy. I don't know what you're talking about. Flying cars. So, sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying, do you have any thoughts, predictions, hopes, fears while we're entering into a new era of Doctor Who?
Okay, here's what I predict is going to happen. There's going to be a new doctor. He's going to wear a cape. He's going to drive a car, a buggy maybe.
Maybe
he's
it's
gonna,
yellow.
He's going to he knows karate or kung fu or something else that begins with a K. And he's going to be stuck on Earth. And we're going to meet a companion that I already know through New Who and her own spin-off show.
Oh, it'll be weird to watch that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's pretty much all I know. I actually don't really know a whole lot about the Doctor personality-wise. Like, I know he like knows kung fu or whatever. I know that he's
How
fighting.
long is his run? How long until we get to 4?
20 years. I don't know.
I expect you to have this trivia, man.
I'm pulling a number out of my hat. 8.
8.
Just 8.
Just the number 8. I think it's actually really interesting that we're moving into 3, and we're in at the same time in New Who. It's just been announced that it's Capaldi's last year. Because, from everything I can tell, this is going to be our first real, like, hey, guess what? We're changing every fucking thing about the show.
Well, there might be carryover. We don't know.
That's true.
We don't know if the companion will carry over.
What companion?
Bill.
Oh, no, I'm talking about 2 to 3. I was like, there's no carryover.
I thought you were talking about 12 to 13.
No, from 2 to 3, I feel like from 2 to 3 is going to be kind of like from 10 to 11. Where it's like, guess what? We've dropped the companions. We don't even have the TARDIS anymore, which Doctor Who fans get so mad when things change. I cannot imagine when, like, 3 premiered and it's like, guess what? No TARDIS. Completely new companions. It's just going to be on Earth. I can't imagine the reaction to that. We should look it up and see how it went over. Because one of the things I really love to do is, like, read old, like, fan letters and stuff. About how, like, you've changed the show too much and it'll never be the same. You've ruined it. And, like, the thing is, the show just keeps going. You can ruin it and it doesn't matter. It will just keep going.
Okay, so
yeah.
I want to say the second Doctor ran from November 5th, 1966 to June 21st, 1969.
Oh, wow.
That's 3 years, right? The third Doctor, he runs from January 3rd, 1970, all the way to June 8th, 1974. So 4 years.
Wow.
But yeah, I think he gets 4 seasons, something like that.
So how long till we're in the 4? I'm not trying to rush us through. I think a lot of people know, like, in America, the people who I knew, like, when I started watching Doctor Who when like the first new season came out, I had like a couple of cousins who were like, "Oh yeah, I know the guy with the scarf." I mean, I had a couple of cousins who had been watching it since 4, and I had most people would be like, "That's the Doctor Who. That's the guy with the scarf, right?" So it'll be really interesting to get into that era of it.
Yeah, and anytime like someone like references classic Who specifically in something like Family Guy or something, it's
4.
It's 4. It's generally 4.
Yeah. Well, his run's like forever, isn't it?
Yeah. The Third Doctor has 24 serials.
Okay. Man, I honestly feel like we're trucking along. We're gonna be in 7 before we know it.
This episode, I think, goes up sometime in March, early March.
Do you know what March 4th is?
That's when we started this show.
That is our birthday.
Yes, it will be 2 years come March 4th, which I think is just in a few days after this episode goes up.
Well, happy birthday to us.
And also to me. It's March 4th is also my birthday.
We launched it on his birthday because
it's easier to remember.
Well, I figured it would be like a birthday present every year.
Oh, it is. Just knowing that we're still doing this shit.
We're still here, you guys.
I feel like this is the big hurdle, getting through those first 2 Doctors. Not that they're bad, just that they're missing.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of get through 1 and you're like, yeah, this is great. And maybe you have a couple of, like, it takes you a while to get used to the slower pace and the black and white, and that kind of slows you down. But you hit a stride because 1's so great. And same with 2. And then, like, you get missing episode, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. But we're through it.
Yeah. I think 3 might be a little wobbly here and there, too. I think once we hit 4, it's going to be smooth sailing.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel like that's when... I mean, that's the one everybody knows, everybody remembers, and I feel like that's going to be the one where it's... I feel like that's even when, like, Douglas Adams got involved, which is going to be fun for me, because I love Douglas Adams. So I feel like that might be the peak, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know that I love 5. I've seen a handful of 5 serials here and there. He's so cute. I love him. He's a good doctor. Don't know anything about 6. I know that I love 7.
I think 6... is a little controversial, I guess.
That is what I've
heard. Mixed feelings.
Some people love him, some people hate him, some people love him but don't think he was given a lot to work with, or that he didn't get,
Some people prefer him in Big Finish.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know in like 5 years, 5 to 10 years when we get there.
Sounds like a prison sentence. You must watch Doctor Who for 5 to 10 years.
No, it's fine.
I'm really proud of us for making it this far.
Do you have like some significant parting words for the 2 era?
Oh, my giddy aunt. When I say run.
Oh.
How about you?
No.
If you like this special, you can check out more episodes on Watch-A-Rassilon.com, and be sure to rate and comment on our iTunes. Ray did it! Other people are doing it! You should do it too! It's fun. We'll post it up on the website. That's what we've been doing.
And I'll love you forever.
And it helps us get more noticed. Thanks.
I'm just saying, watch it.
Wow. But yeah, it helps us out. It gets us...
line, buddy.
Jesus. All right.
Mwah.
See, no, I've got you because we got this podcast to keep up. Like, if we break up, that's going to be really awkward. We have to stay together for the fans. Oh, this is going to be awkward in retrospect if we ever break up. I don't think
you're calling it like a break-up. Like, we're married. Oh, that's a full-on divorce.
Divorce, yeah. Well, I mean, we could divorce and still be friends.
What are you talking about?
It happens on TV shows. So anyway, please comment and rate on our iTunes. It helps us out. It gets us up in the searching rankings. I don't know. There's some kind of magic, iTunes magic going on there. I don't entirely understand it, but it'll help us out. Just leave a comment, rate it. Thank you. If you'd like to help us out even more, you can go to watcherassilon.com/support, and there you'll find a link to our Patreon page, which you can get to just by going to patreon.com/watchathon. And there you can donate a monthly amount to get all kinds of rewards, like videos of us watching the episodes and going, what? Didn't see that coming. Wait, we're watching these out of order? Uncut video? Uncut video of the podcast reward?
I waved too early.
Uncut video podcasts of the uncut...
Yes?
Record... uncut video of us recording the podcast where you can see us saying this line 50 billion times.
You can also see our cat.
Getting in front of the microphone, getting in front of the camera, and other cool stuff. There's a bunch of stuff there. Go check it out. Also on our support page is a link to our Amazon wish list where you can sponsor an episode of the podcast by purchasing the corresponding serial on DVD for us. We'll mention you in the podcast and put your name on our Friends of Rassilon page. This episode's not sponsored by anybody, but I'm going to give a special shout out to Matt Golden anyway, because he's sponsored a shit ton of episodes for us so far. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
You're awesome.
You're alright.
You can follow him at mgoldentumbles.tumblr.com. That's Tumbles without an E because it's Tumblr. Thanks for bringing us so much at 2. Tune in next time when we will talk about the Spearhead from Space, or in space, of space, Spearhead Space.
Spearhead Space.
Which is the beginning of the Third Doctor, and we will have a special guest, Jez, returning. So, stay tuned for that. And again, I'm going to say it again. Well, first I'm going to say, keep calling Rassilon, and when I say run, run. Bye. We love you. You say bye.
Oh, hello. I'm also here. Goodbye.
It's over.